Welcome in everyone to Picks and Parlays. We've got a preview for the Green Bay Packers for you today because NFL is just around the corner. I'm Hannah Mears. You can follow my social medias listed below and download that new Picks and Parlays app available on all mobile device platforms, especially as NFL approaches. You don't want to miss any of the content that we put out because we have a ton coming football season. I'm going to bring in Tim Earle because we are going to be talking about that Go Pack Go, that Green Bay Packers season win total sitting at 7.5. Listen, I know they lost Aaron Rodgers, but do we really not have any faith that this is sitting at 7.5? They only had 8 wins last year, which is obviously probably why it's sitting here. Plus, they're saying the loss of Aaron Rodgers, and then a lot of this offense is going to look different. But the one good thing about the Green Bay Packers, they have a good coaching staff. And on top of that, probably the biggest thing going for them this season, they have a really good defense that's pretty much intact, just like it was last year. So is that going to kind of go into your decision-making on whether or not you say this goes over 7.5 wins?
I am on the over, and I'm actually going to be taking a little bit of a sprinkle on them to win the division as well. But I kind of looked at this team, and I think the addition by subtraction of losing Aaron Rodgers is going to be a great thing for the Green Bay Packers. I know that sounds crazy. I think Jordan Love's going to have a really good season, and for any fantasy football people, I think he could be a solid backup for you guys. I think he's going to be one of the higher scoring quarterbacks this year. But I look at the schedule and I look at their games. That division's wide open. I don't think the Bears are going to win 6-7 games maybe. So that should be an okay opponent for them to go up against. Minnesota is a big flippy coin because one year they lost a bunch of games, one score. They won a bunch of games, one score last year. We'll see how that one goes. And the Lions, sorry, Lenny, as a favor of the division is just funny to me. But you look at some of the games they get because they finished so far down, they don't have to face some of the tougher teams. They get like the Falcons and they get the Broncos, the Rams. Some of these teams that even the Raiders, like they get teams that they can win against. And I do think they go over the total because you look at, and I like the division because, Vikings have to go up against a bunch of first place teams from last year. And Green Bay doesn't have to worry about that. So I think that they have some more of a favorable schedule in this one. We'll take them over the 7.5 wins.
I agree with that. I think I wouldn't be surprised if either of the 3 teams you mentioned, the Vikings, Lions, or Packers, came out on top. I think this is going to be the least surprising division because it's so wide open and everyone every year is just so not underwhelmed by these teams, but a little bit, right? Not really sure who's going to be good. When you look at a Vikings team from last year who won 13 games, typically a team that wins 13 games, you'd be coming into this season really high on them, but everybody's saying, well, some of those weren't the best wins that they could have put together.
There's a lot of one-score games that went their way last year. And
4 of them, I believe, and 2 in overtime. So including the largest comeback in NFL history. So yeah, I don't think it's crazy to say Green Bay over 7.5 wins. And I don't think you're crazy for predicting them to win the division because it is wide open at this point. And I do think your point about Aaron Rodgers was also interesting. He ran that team for sure. Even if a coach wouldn't admit it, ego aside, Aaron Rodgers had a lot of say in what went on. And I think that was a big reason of him departing as well, because I think eventually you start to butt heads when things aren't going well. So I think he's now in a position where he can control a little bit more of what goes on with the Jets and them needing him more, whereas Green Bay was sort of ready for a turnover. So I think Jordan Love's in a really good position to be successful here. So when you look at Green Bay, take that over 7.5 wins. Check out a sprinkle on them winning the division as well. Head over to our website, picksandparlays.net. Use promo code MLB. Save yourself 20% off the entire site. Thanks so much, Tim. Don't forget, everyone, go Pack Go over 7.5 wins.
Go Pack Go.